Hello everyone, my name is Joshua. This is the 116th video of my video journal series. Today's date is Thursday, the 4th of June 2026. How's everyone been? I've been pretty good, thank you. And today I was out in the city. Obviously I didn't take any photos or videos because I didn't have my backpack with me, which is I guess unfortunate, but you know, I feel like I need to I guess take a little bit of more diverse approach when it comes to my shots and my stills and all that, because I've been predominantly just doing the CBD area. Maybe I just want to do the inner and outer suburbs, because I feel like the city's changing constantly, but every single day, I mean, that's a little bit prolific. So yeah, I try to take my camera out when I can. If I can't, then I'll just use my phone. But I only really take photos and videos of like things that are noticeably different in the city or things that I find interesting. So I guess stay tuned for that. Hopefully, I'll be able to take a lot more photos and videos in the coming days, weeks, months. But yeah, today, something I want to talk about today, especially when I was in the city, is that that experience where you're just trying to go for like a very narrow corridor, or you're just like in a very packed area, and there's always like that one person standing where you need to go, and you're like, it's obviously like a very loud area, and you're just trying to tell that person, hey, sorry, excuse me, and all that, but like they're busy in that conversation, so you just get like squeeze through. Basically, people blocking the way, and I don't mean that in like a bad way. Obviously, if a place is like packed and whatever, I can understand, but like try and like stick to the edges or the corners or the walls, or just try to leave like a clear path so then people can get through. And yeah, I've been in those places a lot. And I'm sure some of you may have been in those places or type of situations where you just want to go to the bathroom, but like someone's blocking the door, or you want to play on an arcade game, but someone's like blocking the cabinet, or like they're just like sitting down where the seat is, but they're not like playing the game. So you just gotta politely tell them, "Hey, oh yeah, I'm still playing that game because I want to play." Like that's just like sort of courtesy thing. Um, it's just like obviously first world problems, but like I feel like it should just be common sense that if you're like sitting near an arcade cabinet and you're not playing on it, that you should most probably move over. Or if you're standing near a door, or you know, an object that someone else might want to you know go to, that you like step out of the way if you're not like planning on utilizing that space, apart from your conversation or whatever. But yeah, it's just annoying, and you just gotta constantly tell me, oh, sorry, excuse me. Sometimes you gotta wait for like a group of people to come and just like follow them, so then they like clear the way for you. That's what I usually do whenever I'm like in a cramped space and it's really loud. I just wait for the person who's going in the same direction as me, and I just like tailgate them. Like there's just like my shovel, to get through the crowd of people. Um, that's a very good analogy. And then there's like other times, like when you're just waiting outside of a store, right? This happened to me today. I was waiting outside of a store because they're doing like a special, right? Um, but the special only kicks in at a certain time. But I just knew that it was around, let's say 3 o'clock to 3:30 ish in the afternoon. So I was just waiting and waiting, and obviously I don't want to wait like inside of a store for half an hour. So I had to wait outside, and this was like one of those like takeaway food places. So I waited outside, and obviously I was just like walking up and down the street, just waiting, waiting, waiting. Just so then I can see them like putting all of the specials out, so I can grab something to eat. It was like a snack, and yeah, it was just like obviously I wish they put like a sign outside indicating that the special is on. But the only way that you'll know is obviously if you step inside the store. So I was just literally walking. I was walking by the front entrance of the store, just looking, like peeping my head, just to see if all the specials were out. And then finally, obviously, after a while, the specials were out. So I just bought like a few things. It was two sushi rolls. I got a very nice snack, but like I said, you have to wait, until those like specials come out. So yeah, like I guess trying to wait. Like, have you ever had that experience where you're trying to wait like at a venue and you might be the one who's blocking the door front entrance, where you're just like waiting for someone to come, or you're just waiting and waiting because you came there early, for something, and then you're like, oh crap, I'm standing near the door. I need to move out of the way for someone, um, so that I'm like not in the way. Yeah, I guess those like mild inconveniences. And I guess generally on trains it's pretty good. I feel like when you're like packed on a train, you just say excuse me to the person next to you, and people will just get out of the way for you. Like trains are pretty alright, and public transport in general with like buses. It's just that maybe like at a pub or another like social environment where it might be like loud, it's kind of hard to like navigate through people. Sorry, I'm touching my nose. It's a little bit scratchy today. But yeah, it's just people standing in front of the way. And then you get like people who just like stand like on their phones or whatever, just like calling someone in like a very thin, narrow corridor, and you can't even like say excuse me or whatever without breaking the conversation. But you can't like squeeze by them. You just gotta like stare at them and they'll like move away. But yet again, it's only big enough for one person. So how do you like? They have to you know squeeze by you sort of. It's just I feel like when it comes to crowd control, all right, everyone, we should just adopt the rule, right? Just keep to the left or just keep to the walls. If you're near a hallway or whatever, just stick to the one side, whatever side your country drives on. Just stick to that side. And you know, if you're just in a crowded space like a pub or whatever, just like lean against the walls and just leave like a corridor to like the bathrooms and stairwells and whatever. Because a lot of people like I just hate it when you just like there's this like one guy at like a table right who's like standing like near a pub and he's like blocking the pathway and all that. It's just like one guy standing there. You're like, mate, can you just sit down so that I can go by? I don't want to seem rude, but like, it's just chaotic. Um, but I reckon we should just adopt that sort of crowd control. Just stick to one side. Leave a clear path for people. And yeah, that's enough of me rambling about that. I can close that book. And yeah, apart from that, nothing much. Still job searching, still doing all that stuff. Yeah, already Thursday. It's quite busy in the city on Thursday nights. You'll suspect that a lot of people go home early, but no, Thursday nights are pretty busy in the Sydney CBD. Um, so obviously Friday nights are very busy, but even I guess the closer it gets to the weekend, you generally see a lot more people. Um, you know, so I guess Vivid as well. Vivid's obviously going on, and the Sydney Film Festival. That's another thing I didn't talk about in my free activities festival. Though Sydney Film Festival only began a few days ago. It only started. Sorry, did it begin? It started a few days ago. But yeah, I guess that's another free thing you can do in the city. I know in Martin Place they have like a free theatre for the Sydney Film Festival. It's like an outdoor thing. So yeah, and obviously with Vivid, yeah, I guess that's why the city's busy at nights. But you know, like I said, I walk through Vivid and I don't know, it's just nothing really there that does it for me. Um, I guess like they also do like other events during Vivid as well, and like during nighttime as well, like during like near so in Darling Harbour they host a lot of like events, which is good, I guess. Brings community together. Brings some nightlife and all of that. But Sydney nightlife, I could just make a whole nother video about it. Is pretty much like dead. In the '90s, it was like peak, and then when the lockout laws came in, and then all the businesses had to shut at like a certain time, it sort of killed off nightlife with it. And now nightlife in Sydney, it's okay. Nightlife in Melbourne tends to be a little bit better, but I haven't done nightlife in Melbourne. I've been to Melbourne, but not the whole nightlife thing. And I feel like Sydney. I've only mentioned this because I was out in the city at night, so I just like, it just popped into my mind. But I feel like Sydney could really be a nightlife city. Our trains we go up to around 3 o'clock at night. Places like Tokyo, for instance, their train network stops at around 12 or 1 o'clock a.m. Their trains actually stop earlier than Sydney trains, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, Tokyo is regarded as having a very good nightlife. I guess, it's also walkable and all that. Or, actually, the thing about Tokyo I remember is that I remember hearing about this somewhere is that obviously the trains stop at around midnight, but then people they drink and go to the pubs until like 5 o'clock in the morning, where the trains start running back up again. So I always wondered in my mind, and I wondered about this in Japan, like, wait, how does Tokyo have nightlife where all the trains just stop at midnight? Well, the thing is that people just stay in pubs and they hang out literally on Friday nights. They go into the early morning and they just catch the train at like 5 o'clock on a Saturday, 5 a.m. Saturday, which is just wild. So I guess that's a thing in Tokyo. At least it used to. But like I remember hearing it, so I was like, oh, that does make sense. You know, I guess here in Sydney, it's pretty much like very much a city with trading hours, if you know what I mean. Most of our shops on weekdays they close like at 5 or 6 o'clock. Only the major ones are open until like 8 or 9. Um, and even like on like Thursdays, because usually it's like Wednesdays or Thursdays where stores have like extended trading hours. Those usually close around like 8 or 9 o'clock as well. So yeah, like obviously I wish we had more 24-hour stores. I think I mentioned it like previously in the series. But I feel like Sydney could be a nightlife city, but obviously we're still recovering. I guess we're still like trying to bring it back slowly, but much like our tram network, it takes time to build up that sort of cultural network. And obviously with just like with Sydney's, I guess like current light rail network, if you just use that analogy of trams, we knocked down our previous tram network, built the light rail. The light rails are pretty good, but obviously it's a fraction of what it used to be. Same with Sydney nightlife. We're trying to rebuild it, but it's a fraction of what it, I guess, used to be. Um, and I'm saying this as someone born in 2006. I wasn't born in the 90s. I didn't go to any like raves or whatever. But yeah, I guess just my opinion on things. And yet again, though, I just feel like Sydney's very much a 9 to 5 city. It's not like New York, city that never sleeps. It's not like that. But yet again, though, even in Tokyo, I remember like some parts of Tokyo, they're like dead at like 10 o'clock in the morning. On a weekday, they're like it's pretty much a ghost town. Akihabara at 10 o'clock in the morning. I've been there. It's a ghost town. It is like so eerie to go into like a major like tourist destination Tokyo, and on a weekday, I understand it's a weekday, but like you only see like a few other people out on the street, and you see like high rises and all that. It's like very eerie going to Akihabara at like 10 o'clock in the morning. But then like midday kicks around and it's just like a total 180. It's like packed. Everyone walking on like very narrow streets. It's like it's completely insane. But I guess in Sydney, um, you know, even in the early mornings, there's still like a few people out in the city. A lot of people they commute very early, so that's why on a weekday, I still see a lot of people in the city, even in the early morning. And then midday kind of dies off, and late afternoon, it still gets very busy, and that sort of pours in up until like 9 o'clock at night. I still see a lot of people out on public transport at 9 o'clock at night. Um, Obviously in the city, yeah, there's still a lot of people. So I feel like with Sydney, depending on what day it is, I feel like we're really busy. At least in the CBD, this is. A lot of people, also like quite a few people early morning. Then around midday, it sort of like dies off a bit. Lunch hour picks up again. And when I mean midday, obviously I mean like around 10 to 12 o'clock ish, right before lunchtime. And then early afternoon, still moderate, and then late afternoons when you get that like peak hour rush, and that sort of like dribbles down all the way until like 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock at night. Um, and I guess like obviously Vivid's on, you got like nightlife activities, but even then during like those off periods, I still see a fair amount of people out. So I guess that's just signs that I guess Sydney's slowly becoming a more nighttime city, but not by much. And even then, um, it would be a great thing if we had like 24-hour transport. Just like with trains and all that 24-hour trains. We're nearly there. Our trains stop around 3 o'clock and they resume around 5 or 6 o'clock. So there's only really a 2-hour gap. But I'm not like a train expert or anything. You gotta allow the trains to rest, do some maintenance and all that. I can understand. And other than that, yeah, I can close that book. Is there anything else I want to tell you? No, not really. Obviously, I know for the new segment I was talking about yesterday, I haven't really fully decided what it's going to be. So there will be no segment today, unfortunately. But I guess I'll think about it and maybe I'll come up with something that's new. But other than that, yeah, I guess to really conclude, yeah, it is kind of annoying when people are in your way and all that. And the best you can say is like, "Excuse me," and we've all been in that, I guess, position. But at the same time, I feel like we just need to adopt like a. Well, we already. Excuse me. We already have like that sort of social etiquette, don't stand away and all of that. But when it's like a very loud, busy place, everyone's having fun. Sometimes it can be a little bit annoying trying to navigate through people. And yeah, especially if it's in like a very cramped area. But that's how life is, and I guess you just gotta tap the person on the shoulder saying, "Sorry, can I squeeze in, mate?" And yeah, obviously, I've noticed that I guess Sydney's becoming slowly more uh, nightlife like. We're slowly, I guess, attracting more people towards the late evenings and all of that. And maybe it's just because of current events right now, like Vivid. But at the same time, I feel like, you know, it really it can like make sort of I guess traveling at night a little bit more burdensome, especially where it's crowded and all that. You're just trying to like walk in a straight path, and there's people like walking this way and that way. I think that was the first thing I talked about in my video journal series, episode 1. Nice to know things haven't really changed, at least with my criticisms and all that, like old man yelling at cloud. But yeah, I guess just stick to one side, allow people to walk through. And sometimes I like chaotic crowds, especially when it's at a concert, or just like a very lively atmosphere. But it can make traveling just very burdensome, especially if you just want to like go to the bathroom or something. Um, but yet again, it just depends on a multitude of factors. It could just depend to the fact that the venue is really small, or the sidewalk is very very narrow. In that case, look, just gotta I guess keep to one side and try not to I guess run or be in a rush. Just I guess you know navigate this jungle, this concrete jungle of ours. But anyway, yeah, that's all I really have to say. Yeah, again, I'm sorry I'm not doing a segment, but I feel like it's time that we update it with something new, and that takes a little bit of time to think about. But anyway, I guess that's enough of me talking, and yeah, I guess I'll catch you all, guys. I guess I'll catch you all tomorrow on Friday. Bye. See you. Take care. Have a great one. Catch you all tomorrow.